What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. It is the 29th day of April. We've got about a day and a half left in this month. Let's get it, all right? Hit that like button to subscribe. 11 hours, 20 minutes left in this day. $77.1 thousand is the price. We've moved up a little bit. It is possible, before we get started, I want to say it is possible that we could move higher. I'm not predicting that. I'm not forecasting that. My forecast is, and has been for the last 2 or 3 days now, that this was the top, that we are double topping, that we are coming down. And I think closing below this little range here yesterday, I think that helps validate the idea that it's the top. But truly, once we get below this low, that will very much at that point, I think, give us validation. Even your steadfast bulls and your skeptical bears, everybody will know at that point, once we get below about $74,000, that this definitely is the relative high. Even if we do move up higher, that does not mean we're in a bull market. That does not mean we're going to 100K. That does not mean that we're going to see any kind of super exceptional move. I mean, we could, anything can happen, but my expectation would be if, and it's a very small if, we go above this, and maybe it's a really big if. It's something that's not likely to happen in my opinion, but if we do go above these highs, it's not going to be a dramatic amount, and later we will crash. If I'm calling for the high here, and we do something like this, before we do this, then whatever. I don't care. From down here, you can tell me I was wrong. How about that? We're going to be moving down. I definitely do expect that we're going to be moving down. We look at this here from the relative low. Oh, yeah, there we go. Relative low to the relative high. Come on now. The 382 is at $71.38 thousand. 71.3. Let's just say 71.4, whatever. Typically you do go just below the 382 whenever you interact with it, so even at a bare minimum, if you were expecting to find support anywhere, it would be here, probably just below or right around $71,000. We could see some volatility as we progress down, but I do think that we're going to interact with this golden ratio zone somewhere around 66.9 to 65.4K. I do believe that that's going to happen. Low to high here, relatively speaking. Golden ratio is also at about 70K to 69K. So there's plenty of reasons to find support and volatility along the way. It doesn't have to be a straight shot down. However, I did say yesterday, and I said the day before, and I'll say it now, that if we get below 77K, the drop to 74K or below 74K is going to be swift. And being that we've officially closed below 74K yesterday, and today's the first day after that, I do think that we're going to continue progressing down. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. What we're doing here is backtesting prior support as resistance. We're finding resistance here. This is an ideal time to go short. It's less risky. Of course, this is the most ideal time, but it's the most risky too. You don't know, right? You don't know if it's going to surge up or whatever. Here it's less ideal, but it's also more risky because you've just moved down. You don't know about the volatility. Now you've had the volatility, you've back tested for resistance. And you're finding resistance at prior support here. It's definitely less risky. And if you do go short, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, do low leverage. Do leverage that won't clean you out if you if we move up higher. The 618, we just missed the 618, you guys. I don't know about you, but this looks like a harsh rejection here, man. Volume's coming in. We moved from the 618 down to the 382. Now, to be fair, sometimes you do this and then you still move up. But at this point in time, I think the highest that we're going to get to is like 79K, 78.6K. I don't think we get above that level. I would be surprised if we got above this high. If we do, should we get above that high, $80.5 to $82,000. That's about the highest that I'd give us. I don't think that we get higher than that. I barely accept that as a possibility now, but it is a possibility. I could be wrong. You know, we can go higher, but I don't want to entertain BS. I very much do believe the top is in. I think it's clear in the volume. By the way of the volume, we can look at it here on the Binance USDT chart, the highest traded volume pair in the crypto space in the world. Binance, the largest crypto chart. Bitcoin being traded here. Whenever we were moving up, there was some volume here, right? We moved up with some volume, and as we continued to move up, volume was dying off, and oh so slowly was it dying off over the weekend. We made a secondary attempt. This attempt here provided dramatically less volume, and then when did the volume actually come in? When did we actually see the volume come back to exceptional levels like it was over here? It was whenever we were selling off, and it's continued to be that way. When we move up here, no volume, but we start to dump off. a little bit of volume. It's very telling, my friends. It's very telling. You can tell who the bulls, when the bulls were in charge, this is the type of movements we got. When the bears were not in charge, this was the type of movements that we got. Now that the bears are in charge, look at how much more significant these movements are, right? It's much more significant. Sometimes you don't even need all the indicators. You can just see it. The proof is in the pudding, as it were. Looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, we do have a double top in the RSI. Not good, not bullish, definitely bearish, decreasing overbought areas that we're getting to, decreasing levels of strength as time goes on. It's a pretty bullish RSI over here, and then as it shifts over here, it gets to be this more neutral kind of volatile thing, and obviously neutral and volatile is kind of what it looks like here in the price as well. The stochastics are coming down from the overbought zone, bearish. This is definitely bearish. The MACD here, bearish divergence at the top here with less volume, again bearish everything, and then of course back to this high to low. You tipped the golden ratio, and really you almost hit the golden ratio, but you rejected just below it. That's actually more bearish. That tells me that I'm not the only person looking at this, that you aren't the only person looking at this, that the people who have trading bots aren't the only people looking at this. Everybody's looking at this and thinking, prior area of resistance, I'm going to go short here, but the smart money didn't give you a chance. People front ran it because they want to get their positions in, or they wanted to sell. Maybe they're not even shorting, they just want to sell. Here's another thing, and I've pointed this out a bunch of times in my time making this YouTube channel, the C-Zar Gets Crypto YouTube channel. It's kind of an odd thing, and it's not as obvious here, but I feel like you can still see it. Do you notice how out of this whole range, there's like a point? There's like a point where the price seems to be like converging on. Yes, you have a little blemish here, but do you notice like it's this point here? It's right at that point that you found resistance. It's like right there. And there's support there, there's resistance here. It's even semi-significant throughout this range. But to me, and again, it's less obvious here. Maybe the more obvious point would be here, whatever. We still found resistance right there. Whether you want it to be this point, that point, whatever. Let me give you some other examples so I can show you what I mean, right? For example, here, no, that one's probably not a good one. Let's see. Let's look at this on the 4 hour. We might have more examples on the 4 hour. Let's see. Can we find one? I mean, kind of here. It looks like right here, you've got this point, right? You see that right there, the kind of apex, and boom, what'd you do? You found support right here. Does that make sense? You have this point here, and what'd you do? You found, boom, you found resistance right here. And it wasn't prolonged resistance. I guess it was actually semi-prolonged. You did move past it at some point. There's another one down here. There's kind of a point right here, and I wouldn't be surprised if on our way down we find, whoop, come on now, if what is going on, TradingView, come on, bro. If on our way down we found some support right there, however momentary or significant, but just a little food for thought there. 1 hour time frame, we already went over this. Yeah, everything looks bearish at this point in time. Everything has the very appropriate look of bearish beginnings here. The 4 hour time frame, looking at this, the RSI is absolutely shifting bearish. It's in a neutral stance right now, but you can see you went from super bullish, mega bullish, can't be beat, to now, whoops, not getting overbought. Something different's going on. Whoops, getting a lower high. It's not what we're accustomed to. Things are shifting. Things are certainly shifting. And beyond just like the lower highs here, you've got these lower lows too. It's kind of like a downward sloping channel. Thinking about this the way that it is, I mean, we really might see, I would expect a little bit of a dump going into the end of this week, and then maybe some consolidation over the weekend. Saturday, Sunday might provide some upside, but then starting off the month of May, we really should see some dumping. I think the sell in May, go away people are going to look really, really smart for the first 2 weeks of May. But then after that, we'll see. I do expect some recovery in May as well. I don't think we get above these highs. I think that's the high of the range, but I digress. Looks bearish here. Looks like we want to go down. Stochastics are right at the 50, perfect area to reject the MACD. I mean, we've been providing these false crosses to the upside, and then this one did prevail inevitably, but a false cross here, we could be having a false cross here. The oscillators just crossed below the zero. Even if this isn't a false cross, we move up a little bit more, we likely reject the zero. This is not a good looking MACD. You're building bearish momentum, you're crossing below the zero, you're in false cross territory. You do look bearish. You really do look bearish. And then, of course, rejecting that golden ratio stands out to me the most. But if we do go up higher, I'm not expecting anything crazy. And again, let's say that something crazy does happen and we go to 82K. I mean, 6.2%, that would definitely, I think, scare me if I was in any kind of leverage position, because even a 2x, that's a 12% loss. Nobody wants to be down 12%. Let alone if you're doing a 5x, then you're down 30%, right? You're not liquidated, but dude, you don't want to be down. Don't play it that way. Don't play it like, oh, I'm not going to be liquidated, so it's safe. No, because up here you're going to be down 30%, and that would just be terrible. Even at a 2x, you're at 12%. So I would have tight stop losses if I was shorting. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I'd probably have tight stop losses because I'm not even expecting that we go above this high. So I'd probably have tight stop losses like at 78K or higher. And then if we happen to top off there and then come back down, you can always enter a short into strength. You don't have to short into a guess. But at this point in time, I think that it's a pretty safe bet that we do move down. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Probably best to stay away from shorting or longing or margin trading to any degree, genuinely. But yeah, I don't like the 1 hour. I don't like the 4 hour. The daily time frame here is just beginning to cross red. Okay, the last time that it just began crossing red, we were here at this point, and actually as soon as we crossed red, we were at the low. We did move up. How much did we move up from a low to a high? We moved up about 6%. About 6%, guys. And then we continued to drop. Okay? So again, this is the kind of environment that we're messing with a little bit here. Short-term stuff isn't giving me that vibe, but it can happen. It can certainly happen. Looking at the stochastics, we were overbought for quite a while. I mean, if you look at this is the most persistent drive of being overbought that we've seen really since the bull market back in July and April of last year. We haven't been this persistent in a while. And you've got lower lows in your stochastics with higher lows in your price. It's hidden bullish divergence. We could see a little bit of a move up here. But again, I'm not expecting that we get above these highs. I'm not even expecting that we get above this high right here. So, I mean, I think the move up has actually already happened. I think that's what this was, but I digress. Bouncing off the 50 a little bit. I still think that we're going to come down. It's not in the stochastics to be like range bound like the RSI, so I'm not going to expect that we're doing this. That's not what I'm expecting. I would expect more that we do this or that we do this, right? This kind of stuff. So if we're down here, if we bounce, we might come back up, but ultimately I think that we'll work our way down to the oversold zone, if not from here. Looking at the 3-day time frame, rejection zone at the 0, RSI with higher highs in the RSI here versus lower highs in the price there. I mean, it doesn't look good, man. Stochastics are overbought, ready to come down, reset. Weekly stochastics are right at the 50, perfect area to reject. The RSI, same thing. You've got higher highs in the RSI with lower highs here. You're right at prior points of support. Even also just kind of at prior areas of resistance, looking like you want to come down. As you've moved up this whole time, volume has decreased. It's not bullish, guys. It's definitely not a bullish expectation in the markets right now. The one bullish thing I think is the funding rate. But that funding rate, to my knowledge, I was trying to figure this out with a buddy. I'm not 100% sure on this, but to my knowledge, most of that funding rate is generated from Binance. You guys, there's a bunch of other crypto exchanges in this space beyond Binance. There's Hyperliquid sees a lot of volume. There's a lot of DEXs out there too, and then of course there's other exchanges that do leverage trading as well. And to my knowledge, their funding rates aren't as negative as Binance. So maybe somebody knows something and they're just heavily short on Binance. I don't know. But the one bullish kind of effect that we have overall is the funding rate, the negative funding rate. That's the one thing. It's the one thing that's kind of prevented me from going short. But after today, I think I might enter a small short position with the given parameters that I've even talked about here, because this does just look, again, it looks more convincing. I told myself I would go short if we were above 79K again. I had the opportunity, but just didn't take it, and it was mainly because of the funding rate. I don't want to get wrecked, man. I don't want to get wrecked. I said it before. I actually said it to somebody over here who was asking, or maybe it was over here, who was asking, do we go short now? And I was thinking, I'm not going short because if we see a spike up to 82K, I would rather go short below 77K is what I said. I said I would rather go short below 77K than go short at 80K or higher. just because you never know with these crazy kind of pumps, these short squeezes that could happen. It's not what I expect to happen, but even still, it doesn't matter my expectations. You got to have some risk management in there, and wait for more confirmation of the downside. I think we have that now. That's where I'm getting a little bit more confidence. I mean, we see the price action, what is happening here. I'm like getting anxiety making this video as long as I am, because I'm like, dude, I just want to enter a position right now. I probably will after this video, but I'm not going to make that public. I'm just talking about it right now, candidly. But I don't like to make short positions or long positions public necessarily, because I think that it encourages poor behavior. Anyways, looking at the daily RSI, overbought zone, rejecting, not good, stochastics, yeah, we already went over all this, so I don't really think there's anything else to say. I'm going to end the video there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all very much for being here. We're right at the 382, perfect area to reject, and if and when we get below 71.5K, that would very much look like a topping point of this overall range, and could in fact it could ignite the rally that would take us below these lows. I'm expecting that we won't see prices below these lows until August. It could be earlier, but I do think we're going to be working our way down in May. Might see a little bit of a come up, a little bit of volatility. I don't think it'll be a straight shot down like this. Whenever that straight shot down happens, it'll probably be June or July that we see that kind of more bearish move take place. I'm rambling at this point, so I'm going to end the video. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care. Bye-bye.